Okay, so Handsome, what exactly are you making a podcast of, and like, why are you doing it? Great start.
So, the reason I'm making a podcast is because I noticed, I guess so, like when I was trying to become an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
I had realized that there were a lot of unanswered questions that I couldn't find the answer for a lot of things. And then I met AJ, which will
Mm-hmm.
hopefully be a guest soon on the podcast, and he answered a lot of those questions, but then I realized there's a lot of people that don't have like an AJ to answer questions for them.
So like a mentor kind of
Yes,
thing.
yes. So kind of my thought process on this podcast was to create something where people can go and learn from other experienced people, or even non-experienced people learn from their mistakes as well as their successes to grow their business quickly without running into so many like straight up brick walls.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's definitely a good idea because you don't really. Well, at least I don't see much of that stuff out there.
I have
But I'm
seen,
not in that side of the business, so.
I would say I have seen a lot of people that are very successful and have done something similar to this, but not a lot of people document the process. So
Yeah.
I figured this is one of those cases where most people interview like very successful people that have made millions and so on and so forth. I want to interview more people that are kind of going through it currently
Mm-hmm.
and are like working through their problems actively while they're doing it. Like when we interviewed James, which will be actually after this.
Mm-hmm.
He's someone that like is currently going through issues of like dead season in the wedding season and stuff like that. And he talked about some of his issues on there, and I think that's going to be more of what I want to do is kind of cover the things that millionaires aren't really talking about because they've
So,
kind of gone past that.
so like the bumps in the road.
Yes. Well, obviously obstacles are going to happen, so I want to talk about those and how to
Yeah.
get through them. But then also like the things that people are doing. Um, so like things that people are doing that leads to the bumps in the road, like for example, not saving up for your taxes. That would
Yeah.
be a huge one.
Yeah.
Or for dead season. But also like the things that people are doing that are counting as wins. So like learning how to advertise and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
are the things that I want to cover. Also, like the step of leaving their job to do what they want to do full time. I feel like
Yeah.
that step is very hard for people to take, and I want
Mm-hmm.
to make that step easier by just being educated in that specific area so you can
Yeah.
do that.
Or you just get fired from your job and you can just do it that way.
Don't do that. That doesn't always work out.
No, it doesn't. But okay. Yeah.
I guess we should also mention who we are, and
That's probably a good idea. You want to go first?
I will start with kind of so I'm going to start with a little bit of the backstory of like how we got where we are and who we are. So first of all, I'm Eric. This is Abby,
And
my
I'm
fiance.
and I'm Abby. I'm the fiance of Eric.
um, and we both currently run a wedding photography videography business.
Mm-hmm.
Abby is more of the creative side and the photography side. I do the videography as like a videographer, not the editing. And then I also do the business side.
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting 2 podcasts. This will be one of them, which is about like entrepreneurship. I'll be the host of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one,
Yeah, and then another podcast. It has yet to be finalized, but I'm getting it going. But basically, it's a podcast about uh brides that have already done their wedding and brides that are going to be doing their wedding and kind of getting the inside scoop of everything and kind of like what their process was, because granted that it's a generic process to do a wedding, everyone has it a little bit differently. And then of course, if anyone wants to like spill some tea, definitely gonna get that up, but not dramatically crazy or pointing anyone out, I guess. But But that's that podcast. I'm going to be hosting that, and it's just going to be girl time, just girl talk. It'll be fun.
Okay. I love you.
I love you too.
Anyways, a little bit of backstory on how we got where we are. Abby started.
Yeah, so basically, I was like either my senior year or just right after high school. I went with Eric to Target, and I think of another friend, I think Cole, came with us. Cole's a friend of Eric's from childhood, and basically, I just wanted to get a camera, so there was like a camera, like a $500 camera set from Target that I bought, and then basically my friend, she, like, her sister was getting married, so I told her, like, hey, if your sister needs anyone, like, I can do like photography or videography. Well, she ended up saying she needs someone for the video, and not knowing at all what I needed to do or to have for that, like, job, basically, I just went with my $500 camera. I showed up and recorded on that camera with nothing else, no audio equipment or anything. And then let's just say that turned out to be very bad. Like, it was like the worst wedding I've ever done, obviously, because it was my first wedding. But, and then from there, I kind of like tried to get better, or to just practice, do anything I could to get myself better. And then Eric kind of saw me not doing a good job at marketing at all, and so he kind of stepped in, and that's where he comes in.
Okay.
In the business.
So yeah, I was in school for business at the time. And I did see that you weren't marketing at all.
Yeah.
Or networking or anything. You just were hoping people would find you.
Yeah.
Which I have noticed a lot of creative people do, actually. So very common. And I wanted to help her on that sense. And then I ended up double booking us at one point, and then I had to go learn how to use a camera, so that way I could help
and even buy one.
Yeah, so I could help with the shooting side and stuff like that. And then shortly after, I think it was probably 3 months in, I ended up just kind of quitting my job and going full time into it because we were booking enough that I could do that. And then I switched to videography so that way we could work together because she does the photo side. And then I would say, I think like our first or second year, we ended up shooting 57 weddings.
Yeah.
And then just last year, shot 57 weddings again. We're hoping to go up, or at least
break the 50 mark.
Yeah, or 57. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where we are currently, as well as like how we got here. What would you say are some struggles we kind of ran into? I guess I should.
Well, but before that, we kind of like the process of even doing the business, we kind of changed up too. Like, we both tried to do marketing and the creative side, but we both noticed that I just still don't know how to market or anything, so that's how we kind of came to that decision.
Yeah, so that was a dilemma that actually literally right off of what I said.
Yeah.
One of the issues that we did run into was we were 50-50 partners.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I felt like wasn't actually 50-50 going in.
No, it definitely wasn't.
Yeah. And then, like, I tried to get you to do more. And in doing that, I was trying to almost force her to do what I was good at rather than what she was good at, which did not work.
Yeah, because then if anyone knows, it just kind of led away to even doing anything.
And then I realized that I was good at those things and you were good at other things. I can't remember what book I read, but one of the books I read actually made me think of that. I think it was...
We'll just spit it out.
It was The Dichotomy of Leadership. That was the book. That was recommended to me by one of my old managers. Oh. And I was listening. I think I only got halfway through the book, but I ended up like learning that you have to kind of like let people figure out what they're good at and then like help them grow in that space.
Yeah.
So that's what we ended up landing on, which really worked best. Was she is more creative, she is more emotional, a better storyteller, and that's where she kind of shined, whereas I'm better at the business side and like the legal stuff.
Well, and also too, like, oh, I lost my train of thought. And also, like, Eric was definitely, like, up here for, like, his mindset of the business, but I was still down here because I didn't know any of the marketing stuff and how, like, what we could potentially get out of the business. So I was still trying to figure out even what I wanted to do within the business. And I had the mindset where, like, and I assume everyone has this, so I understand, but, like, a lot of people just want to say they have something that they created and kind of, like, shot through the roof or something. But Eric helped me realize that that's not always the case, or that shouldn't be the case, because in the end, it doesn't always work out. So with that kind of being said, I was still down here trying to figure it out, and he was trying to get me up here within, like, a week, and I'm like, what? So, and well, without all being said, it kind of led to where we are now, because he's up here, and I'm still up, like, right here, and I'm trying to get to where he's at. But I think I'm ranting on too much, but I'm just trying to say that, like, everyone starts somewhere else. It's kind of hard to keep up when he's all the way up here and just trying to keep going, if that makes sense.
I get what you're saying. So what you're trying to say, I guess what I'm catching, is that I was trying to, like, push that we could be a huge company, and you were trying to say, like, I don't even know how to do this.
Exactly.
And I get that. So what did you say that kind of, like, you wanted your own business, but you wanted it because you wanted to say that you created a business.
Yes.
Which that alone was something that I wanted to touch on. First of all, like, a lot of people want to say they started a business, but they don't care how much money they make, which means you're not going to have a successful business, because you have to make money to have a successful business.
Yeah.
Second, I personally am one of the people that would rather make money from the business than be known as the person that started the business, because that, to me, just, I would rather have profit to be able to successfully run the business. Yeah. Your dilemma was that you wanted to say you like started your own business, but you weren't, like, you didn't understand business. So when you said that, like, I was up here and you were down here, really what you were saying is, I understood business, you didn't understand business. That's what you were, that was, like, the actual thing. Yeah,
I forgot to say words to describe that.
So, like, in that sense, yes, you're correct. I did understand business more than you. But also, I don't think it's a matter of, like, you weren't cut out, because you did say that you weren't cut out for business. I don't think that's the truth. I think it was just that you have to learn more about business and have experience in business to understand what you need to be doing to pursue the business.
Yeah.
But I think that is something that people have to decide between, of, like, just joining a franchise, getting licensed, like paying for a license from another company, or starting your own business. Those are all completely different things that, like, I mean, starting a franchise is actually one of the most successful ways to start a business, because your infrastructure is already built for you. Mm-hmm. Starting your own business is much harder than joining a franchise. But you would also benefit more from starting the franchise. Or, well, I guess you probably could benefit more from the business as long as it was, like, an uncapped potential.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a lot. I was trying to, like, unpack everything you just said, because you had, like, hit so many points, and it was a lot.
Well, yeah.
But the gist that I'm trying to get across, the gist that I'm trying to get across is, don't assume that, from that what I learned was, like, yes, everybody starts at different points, but everybody can do the same thing. It's just, what is it that you actually want? Like, what you actually wanted out of business was to say you started a business, which, I mean, was more of a moral thing. It wasn't really.
Yeah.
Which you can always start a business. Like, you can literally just create an LLC and say, I started a business.
Yeah.
But the other thing you wanted was, obviously, we have the end goal of having a venue. That's more of your dream. Which in order to do that, we have to have a successful business that makes money. So that's kind of the direction that we went. And obviously the pros and cons was have kids and the dream life with the venue, or say you started a business.
Yeah, exactly. I chose to have a family and the venue.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then we also have, like, so going back on kind of our, like, timeline of how we started or whatever in the future, we want to start a venue or build a venue or whatever. I do. Do you?
So complete transparency. Like, yes, I do still want a venue. I'm not like ecstatic about it. To me, the venue is more of like
income.
Well, no, like it's more of like that. I know you want a venue, and I know you want to still do photography and stuff like that. So the venue would help you with that. So like to help you kind of do what you want to do for the rest of your life, I would love to have a venue. As far as like what I want to do, this is more of what I want to do. As far as like I want to help entrepreneurs or other, I say creatives, but really I mean like photographers, videographers, technically any entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I want to help them kind of be able to grow quickly, and I'm trying to make a middle ground between like a franchise and starting your own business where like instead of doing, and I think licensing is really that middle ground, but kind of doing it a little differently where like you would be able to come to one spot. You would have someone that does your social media, someone that does your advertising, someone that helps you generate leads, someone that can edit for you, stuff like that, to where you can literally like go from wanting to take photos of weddings to being trained, taking photos, learning how to edit, then editing your own stuff, then learning how to advertise, then advertising for yourself. So almost like a school to teach you how to do exactly what you want to do for a living. That's more of what I want to do, but by assisting you until you can get to that point that you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
So, kind of wrapping it up here. I want to say thank you for watching. And secondly, if you do have questions or you're an entrepreneur that wants to be on the podcast, please comment or message me directly. And I'd love to get as many entrepreneurs on here as possible, as well as answer any questions. We kind of lined up some questions for James. We recorded that yesterday, but I plan on posting it after this. And then more questions for future guests.